That other one is. We've got multiple recordings to make sure we're covered. Okay. Can we call the meeting to order, and we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In closed session, the Board of Trustees took action in support of the following recommendations from the superintendent. B3, public employee appointment, resignation, retirement, reduction. On a motion by Wilson So and seconded by Dennis Bender, a vote of 5-0, the Board of Trustees approved the following. With the announced retirement of current Phoenix Academy principal effective June 30th, 2020, and the transition that will be occurring, the Board of Trustees would like to appoint Stephanie White, interim principal TK through 8th grade, Phoenix Academy, range 14, step 1 on the certificated management salary schedule, 210 days paid, effective immediately. And the vote, I'm going to read aloud since we are at a distance, was Mr. Bender, aye. Donna Davis, aye. Maria Okpara, aye. Rick Raleigh, aye. And Wilson So, aye. And then the board may approve the agenda as is, or add/pull an item from the consent agenda for discussion and or action. We need to adopt the agenda as is. Need a motion?
So moved.
Wilson So moved. Do I have a second?
Aye.
Maria Okpara, second. Mr. Bender, a vote of I need a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ms. Nelson, I have a comment.
Yes.
Mr. Bender needed to use the restroom, so he is not at his seat at the moment. He wanted me to notify you of that.
Okay.
We can take a few minute break.
Why don't we take a few minutes break and redo that vote appropriately? Everybody gets a bathroom break now.
If I may, it's been like, after this pandemic is over, maybe later part of the year, there seems to be some confusion about how the you can see Donna right behind me it has an Apple Valley homecoming king. That was my son.
Oh my
Back in
goodness.
'96.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Stephen was also shoot up to 6'3". Yeah.
Pretty. Oh my goodness.
Donna, are you in your vacation home in Boulder?
I'm in Boulder City, Nevada. I'm right just on the road down to Lake Mead.
Is it raining there?
The last drive Are you back?
Just a minute.
Okay. I was saying that the clouds are black here and it'll sprinkle a little bit and then it'll stop. It's interesting weather.
So you're in Nevada. Yeah.
Nevada, Boulder City, Nevada.
Boulder City. Yeah.
It's a tiny little town.
Yeah, I was planning to go to Arizona because it's warmer over there.
Well, it isn't cold. It isn't cold, but it's rained and warm. So how is Hawaii, Miss?
Miss Nelson, Mr. Bender is returned from the break.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bring everybody back.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Somebody eating my cheese?
I said I should bring you cheese and deliver it to your door. You don't have to. Okay. The things that the public doesn't know we do. They do know.
Okay.
I did error and skip the union reports. I called both union presidents. We left them on the agenda. Ms. Croft said she passed this time and that she knew that we were doing new telepresence. So, but we do have a statement from Mike Kaufman that Kylie has was emailed for our direction. So she's going to read that aloud now into the record.
For the California Schools Employee Association Chapter CSEA Chapter 828 from Mr. Mike Kaufman, President, it reads, hello, Apple Valley School Board, Superintendent and Assistant Superintendents and virtual audience. I wanted to say I hope you are all healthy and well. I am sure you have heard all of the accolades of amazing jobs the classified have done, from preparing and handing out food to the distribution of Chromebooks. It is times like this we understand the importance of all staff employed by the district and how vital they are to this organization. Our students haven't been forgotten as we've helped find solutions for the staff to be able to protect themselves and deliver their excellence in their fields they are best qualified for. I think this is a tough challenge for all levels of employment. We as a community that are employed by this district have risen to the level far beyond what was originally expected. The amount of work the superintendent and the cabinet had done to move this for over 1,400 staff members to a different way of education is just amazing to me. The support staff usage and maintaining all staff in a key position has been handled in a responsible way so far. I look forward to more collaboration with administration and classified employees as the weeks ahead still leave much more uncertainties. We appreciate your time in watching out for all of us and supporting our districts, students, staff, and our community. Thank you for your time. Have a nice evening and stay healthy.
Thank you, Kylie.
Thank you to read the card.
We're going to go back to the adopt the agenda because we had a motion by Wilson So and a second by Maria Okara. And as I went to take the vote, we realized we needed to take a break. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that motion passes as a 5-0. We are going to go into D, public hearing. We will now conduct the public hearing and adopt resolution 1920-19 regarding residential and commercial industrial development school fee justification studies dated March 24th, 2020. On January 22nd, 2020, the State Allocation Board increase the maximum residential school fee authorized by section 17620 of the Education Code from $3.79 to $4.08 per residential building square foot. The residential development school fee justification study dated March 24th, 2020 concludes that the district is fully justified in levying the maximum residential school fee of $4.08 per square foot for all future residential development within its boundaries, including reconstruction. On January 22nd, 2020, the State Allocation Board increased the maximum commercial industrial development CID school fee authorized by section 17620 of the Education Code from 61 cents to 66 cents per square foot. The district's commercial industrial development school fee justification study dated March 24th, 2020 justifies increased CID fees to 66 per square foot, except for the hotel, motel, and self-storage development, where the district justifies a CID fees of 47.5 cents and 27 or 2.7 respectively. Are there any questions or comments from board members regarding the adoption of resolution 1920-19 regarding residential and commercial industrial development school fee justification studies?
No, go ahead.
No.
I now open the public hearing and the adoption of resolution 1920-19 regarding residential and commercial industrial development school fee justification studies for public comment at
7:01.
Thank you. 7:01 p.m. Those wishing to address the board are invited to email their comments to avusdboard@avusd.org. Kylie, do we have any public comments?
We do not have any public comments.
Pursuant to board policy, individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board in order to ensure that non-English speakers receive the same opportunity to directly address the board. Any members of the public who utilize a translator shall be provided at least twice the allotted time to address the board. Still no public comment through the email system? Thank you, Kylie. Hearing no further public comment, I now close the public hearing at 7:02 and the adoption of resolution 1920-19 regarding residential, commercial, industrial development school fee justification studies. 7:02 p.m. Thank you for your comments. I ask for a motion to adopt resolution 1920-19.
So moved.
Second.
Maria Okpara, seconded by Dennis Bender. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes in the 5-0. Public hearing and adoption of resolution 1920-19 regarding residential and commercial industrial development school fee justification acts. We will now conduct a required public hearing for the admissions preference stated in the Academy for Academic Excellence, AAE Charter Renewal Petition. California Education Code 47605 E2BI requires each type of admissions preference to be approved by the chartering authority at a public hearing. Education Code section 47605 E2B 2 through 4 requires that preferences be consistent with federal law, the California Constitution in section 200. Section 3, preferences shall not result in limiting enrollment access for pupils with disabilities, academically low achieving pupils, English learners, neglected or delinquent pupils, homeless pupils, or pupils who are economically disadvantaged or as determined by eligibility for any free or reduced price meal program. Foster youth or pupils based on nationality, race, ethnicity, or sexual orientation. Section 4, in accordance with section 49011, preferences shall not require mandatory parental volunteer hours as a criterion for admission or continued enrollment. Education Code Section 200 states, "It is the policy of the state of California to afford all persons in public schools, regardless of their disability, gender identity, gender expression, nationality, race or ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, or any other characteristics that is contained in the definition of hate crime set forth in section 422.55 of the Penal Code, including immigration status, equal rights, and opportunities at the educational institutions of the state. The purpose of this chapter is to prohibit acts that are contrary to the policy and to provide remedies therefor." Page 53 of the AAE's renewal petition, received March 24th, 2020, and dated on March 24th, 2020, describes 6 admissions preferences. Admission preferences in the case of a public random drawing shall be given to the following students in the following order. Siblings of students admitted to or attending AAE. That was number 1. Number 2, children of LCER salaried regular employees. Number 3, children of all other LCER employees employed in the position for a minimum of 2 consecutive school years. Number 4, students residing within the boundaries of AVUSD. Number 5, students from San Bernardino County and contiguous counties only. Number 6, all other applicants. Pursuant to Apple Valley Unified School District Board Bylaws 9323, meeting conduct, please limit individual remarks to 5 minutes. The board will limit the total time for public comment to 20 minutes. Are there any questions or comments from members of the board about the admissions preferences stated in AAE's renewal petition?
I do.
I don't have.
I'm just curious, based on these bylaws that are set aside, do they have a waiting list for so that they can fill those spots for the people who meet these preferences, or are they saving it for specific group of kids that can come?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Pat Schlosser address that.
This is actually an important change to their admissions policy that is in keeping with their effort to have their student population more accurately reflect the student population of our district as a whole. Lisa Lamb, the CEO, is actually kind of on deck.
Can you come closer to the speaker?
Lisa Lamb, what I said to start out is that this change is in keeping with the Lewis Center and AAE's commitment to make their student population more accurately reflect the student population of the district as a whole. So, Lisa Lamb, the CEO of the Lewis Center and the representative for AAE Valley and Jason are actually on deck to speak about that when we get to the public portion of this hearing. And they can address just kind of how that waiting list will work, what this change actually means. But we think this is a change that will help them make that student population balance a bit more and look more like the rest of our student population, and we'll talk about why that is. So they do have a waiting list for their younger grades in the elementary program, but they often do have room at the high school level for new students to come in. So I'll pause there, and when it comes to the appropriate time of the hearing, we'll ask Ms. Lamb to join us and speak to you about it.
Thank you.
Any other board questions or comments?
No.
It covers it.
I'm sorry, Donna?
I said, I think that covers it.
Okay. I now open the public hearing on the admissions preferences stated in AAE's renewal petition for public comment at 7:08 p.m. Those wishing to address the board are invited to email their comments to avusdboard@avusd.org. Kylie, do we have any emailed comments?
We do not.
Okay, so we do have Lisa Lamb and Valley Andreessen joining us to address the board through our Zoom.
Good.
Are you there, Lisa?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear
Yes.
you, we just can't see you.
Yeah, I don't see you, but that's okay.
okay. Both Valley and I are here appropriately distanced in the same room, so I'll try to make sure that you can hear us both. We have proposed an amendment to our current lottery process, as Mr. Schlosser mentioned, in an effort for us to make sure that we are closely mirroring the student population of the district and of Apple Valley at large. Currently, we allow students to enroll as soon as birth. They're allowed to get on the waiting list. And one reason, the enrollment is always blind. So in answer to the question that was asked, there's never been a preference other than those explicitly stated, which are the same. So there's sometimes a feeling that there is cherry picking happening, if I could use that term. And that is not the case. Our enrollment is always blind, and it is blind by law. So we cannot determine or sort out students who apply by any category, such as grades or discipline or anything like that. It is a completely blind enrollment. But in our current practice, we allow students to sign up for that way, or families to sign up for that waiting list as soon as birth. And by doing that, we feel that it doesn't give the same ability for anybody to come into Apple Valley. So if they were, let's say, new to our community or something, that waiting list is already very long by the time that child would be eligible to come into kindergarten. And then that waiting list makes it so difficult to get in that many of our students end up waiting 6 or 7 or more years in order to get in. And so we feel like by doing this and not allowing them to enter the waiting list until they're school age eligible, it is going to help with our student population balance. And that was one of the things that we worked together with district staff to really make sure that we're putting in every effort to do in this next charter term.
So out of curiosity, you no longer do the waiting list at birth?
Correct. So they will need to be ready to enter kindergarten. We will do it at age 4 because we do have an onboarding process that happens. We call it nights in training, and this is the process for us to establish relationship with our parents and to do assessments and placement in the classes for our students. By no means is it an enrollment barrier. They're already enrolled with us, and then we're able to do that process. So it won't be until age 4 that they're eligible to apply. And then if we're oversubscribed, we go through the lottery process, and the students who aren't selected in the lottery, which is a public random lottery, would be placed on a waiting list.
When did that start?
It will start hopefully with your approval tonight. So now it starts. They're allowed to apply for the lottery as soon as birth. But after this new renewal with your approval, it will not start until the age of 4.
So the question I'm then asking is, if you have been operating based on a waiting list that starts at birth, but the child is now 2 years old, what conversation do you have with the parent to tell them that offer is no longer on the table? They have to wait till 4.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't clarify that. Our proposal is to grandfather in anybody who's already on the waiting list, and then use this process moving forward. So we would not be able to, we did not feel that it was appropriate to do what you stated.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And then any other questions regarding that part? Because I know Lisa and Valley had a few other things they wanted to present to the board before we close the public hearing. Is that the next item? Okay, sorry. So we're going to, thank goodness I have a team here. Hearing no further public comment, I now close the public hearing on admissions preferences stated in AAE's petition, renewal petition at 7:13 p.m. Thank you for your comments. Public hearing, So we need to have an action. I need a motion to approve the admission preferences.
Can we have discussion first?
No. You can. I made the motion. You can still discuss.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So there was a motion by Wilson and seconded by
Dennis.
Dennis.
Okay. And do you want to have a discussion?
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Donna wanted a discussion.
Any discussion?
Now we just voted, so we have put the motion out. Now you can discuss.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why the change. Everything's the same except for the year you can start with the list.
So Donna, part of that has to do with the requirement of a charter to reflect the district within it where it's chartered from. So it should reflect the same demographic or as close as possible to the same demographic as the school district from which it's chartering from. And so the change to this would be appropriate to try to match our demographics, a better way to engage students that are currently living in the area, not just
Yeah, from babies to 4-year-old. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
I just wondered why.
Yeah, understood. I need to take a vote. Is all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Rick?
No.
Okay, got it. So 5-0. And then under comments, those wishing to address the board are invited to email their comments to AVUSD board@avusd.org prior to the portion of the agenda. Kylie, are there any public comments at this time?
We have not received any public comments.
So we're going to go on to superintendent comments. Guys, I just want to reiterate what we're hearing regarding all of the work out there, our classified staff, our certificated staff, our managers. An incredible amount of work has gone into transitioning to remote learning, and the ed tech team and the coaches and just everybody stepping up to do everything they need to do to make this happen. We are still committed as a group to provide a graduation ceremony when it is safe to do so. I was on a Zoom today, a meeting with the principals, and we discussed this. We will probably be putting something out next week to our seniors specifically. We're kind of consistent with the county in this measure. Most superintendents are trying to plan a face-to-face graduation, and we will continue that effort when it's safe to do so. Other than that, I just commend everybody for doing the work that they're doing and being patient with the transition to this type of a meeting, because we do a lot of this now, and I do miss coming to work every day and sitting in my office or going out on school campuses. So nutrition service workers are feeding over 5,000 students in a day and 5,000 meals, and we've distributed out of the schools almost 7,000 Chromebooks. Just amazing. Because if you consider that our high school students already have their Chromebooks at home, almost 3,500 of them, that's an undertaking. So we're still working on some hotspots and some things for students and some ways to resolve some access issues, but very pleased to see how fast things have moved. Mr. Stout, any comments?
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just have a couple of brief. For the board's information, I got notified by CSBA by the ballot that I got re-elected back to serve on delegate assembly. This is going to be my 21st, 22nd year on delegate. Even though it's too early to talk about going back to normal, but I'm always think that this current separation and pulling people out from work and all that. Look at the impacts all over the country, and I think probably not right away, but we as a district would probably work with the county. Just some point down the road, we'll begin to look at the plan how we going to get back to regular normal school year without fears. And I personally feel very comfortable. I'm not too scared because having two daughters, two youngest in medicine, and I talk to them, and I myself have taken the erythromycin many years ago when I was my senior year from working in an engineering firm sorting out refuse. I was eating lunch and doing refuse analysis. That's how I got E. coli. And I think those medicines are proven to be very effective. And so I feel more positive that our country can get over this hump. I just want to share it with the rest of the board. And if we do go back, send the kids back, hopefully some point down the government, federal government, the state government will give us this quick test so that we can make sure we monitor the student initially closely. So that's all I have.
Mr. Bender.
Well, I'd just like to say the last 3 weeks have demonstrated the quality of employees that we have at every level. That's it.
Mr. Raleigh.
More of a question for you, Attorney. So I've heard grumblings or bits of rumors that maybe schools will stay closed even come fall time. Since we're on a year-round school, I mean, that would mean that August is when kids would naturally go back. Is there any plans, the contingency plans, that if this is continuing into August, what's going to happen, what the district's plans are? Do you guys have that in the back of your minds a little bit? Maybe if there's a third?
Absolutely. On the forefront right now has to do with summer school. And we plan to continue and support students, specifically those that are credit deficient, in a summer school model that could be remote. But moving on into August, I'm going to tell you, I was on a WebEx today with the Department of Public Health and the county superintendents, and they do believe that we're hitting a point where we will be okay coming back in fall. As of today, that's what they believe.
And nobody will?
I'm sorry? That we will be.
We will be.
That we will be, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're really, this was more about the anticipation of not filling our ICU units and overburdening the hospitals with lots of cases. But right now they do believe that we will see a peak and then be able to open in August. Now, nobody can really predict this, and every day something changes, and hour by hour it changes. But we do have contingency plans, and if we are going to continue to be remote, we will have to up our game a little bit and do some things a little bit differently, because that's the new way to do school.
If you recall today, the projected peak actually moved back to by this Sunday. It was supposed to be another 2-3 weeks. So hopefully there's hope that this thing can end.
So we will continue to plan with those things in regard to start of the school year. So
Just out of curiosity, have you planned for a major bump in kindergarten students in 5 years?
Okay. Anything else, Rick?
No, that's good. Just appreciate the hard work everybody's doing.
That's right.
This was, everybody was blindsided by this. It was really crazy. So, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I remember at the last board meeting doing one of these, let's hope we can get to spring break, and then it all went downhill the next day, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Maria, so Cara.
Well, I have to start by extending a great thank you to the general staff of Apple Valley School District. You, the teachers, rose to the occasion. The administrative team rose to the occasion. And even you, the superintendent, you set the tone as to how we are supposed to do things. This district took its time to set up distance learning, and I don't see us having regrets. You did your homework. You knew what wouldn't work, and you knew what will work. And you set the tone. So we didn't have all of those little kinks that are out there. And many districts are now trying to pull back, but the cat is already out of the bag, so there's no pulling back. And I have to say that the food services, the ladies in the food service department, should be really congratulated. They've done such amazing work. And then to the teachers who were trained to teach in front of a classroom, and then they had one weekend or a few days to learn how to teach in front of a computer. I have to say that I am exceedingly proud of those teachers and what they continue to do. I know that every one of them is so willing to help out the other person. And I go on Facebook occasionally just to test the waters, and I get people calling to try and drop off food in my house, or drop off something if I'll just give them the address. I have to say I have never been more proud to be a member of such a community that cares for each other. We just have to be patient. We have to be patient so we can do it right. And when the students do return, they'll have a better appreciation for coming into the schoolhouse. And the parents will have a better appreciation for what we do. But I thank you guys for what you guys continue to do. And to Kylie for flying all the way to Hawaii to bring me my headphones and the computer guys to come out and take my computer and fix it. From at 1 o'clock, they came to Hawaii, picked it up, and brought it back. So that was so good. But I thank you guys, all of you. I have really enjoyed this period that we are chatting with each other and sharing what we are doing as a unit.
Be safe. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Miss Davis.
My goodness, I'm so proud that we have Maria, we have Dennis, we have all of the board members that really, really care about the district. And we're so proud of our administration, our teachers, our classified. We are the luckiest people I know. It's amazing that we're so happy. Thank you so much, and it's our first online meeting, and I think we did good.
So far.
I think all of your work has paid off, you
You have
guys.
to stay at midnight.
Oh my goodness.
That would be 9 o'clock for me.
Oh, well, thank you so much for everything, you guys. And my fellow board members, you're the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go on to section F, discussion action session. It's recommended that the Board of Trustees discuss and take action on the following items. 1, approve the Academy of Academic Excellence Charter Renewal Petition received on March 24th, 2020 for a term of 5 years from June 1st, 2020 through June 1st, 2025.
I move approval.
I move it.
Oh, I'll second it.
And so if it please the board, I'd like to just introduce once again Lisa Lamb and let her speak briefly on this very important renewal in the life of a charter school, and also characterize our relationship in this process as one that was in the midst of this entire shutdown and closure. And so here we were trying to figure out how to do school in an entirely different way as we were meeting these deadlines and coming across just little hiccups along the way as far as new charter laws that took quite a bit of learning on my part and lots of flexibility on the part of the AAE staff, and they were flexible. And I'll tell you that as you've heard about our adventures with the AVCI, this has been a great relationship. And that's why our recommendation is to adopt the resolution to grant the petition. You'll see there are 2 resolutions there for you to choose from, but our strong recommendation is to grant. And so I'll just bring Lisa on briefly. It looks like she's ready to speak on behalf of the charter people.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Schlosser. And I want to just echo that. We have always, since I've been at the AAE or the Lewis Center, and this is Lisa Lamb, by the way, we have always enjoyed the best authorizer charter relationship of any charter school throughout the state or the nation that I've ever known. And I really think that it is an example of what all the board trustees were just stating, that our community is truly a special one. And I feel too very, very proud to be part of it, and very proud to be the charter school that is authorized by AVUSD. As Pat was mentioning, I think one of our proudest moments, at least in my tenure in this position, has been our development of AVCI. Remember, Pat and I guess it's been about 3.5 years ago now, saying what could we do if we just work together to support all of our kids, and AVCI is the child of that collaboration, and our amazing teachers from both of our organizations who just really are the heart and soul of everything that happens there. Just last year, we served, I think, almost 4,200 students, family members, and teachers in professional development and STEM events. And that's something that I know that we could never do alone in either of our organizations. And it's something that makes us really unique, and I think that we're all very, very proud of. And so we just look forward to, with the board's approval of our 6th term, to continuing this relationship, strengthening it. As Trinae and I have worked together, we try to, really collaborate in all areas and all types of boards and events and things that we serve on. And it's really nice to be able to walk lockstep with our fellow educators. And so we just don't take the trust that Apple Valley, the entire community, has placed in our organization since 1997. We don't take that lightly, and we are committed to always striving towards excellence and making you proud and being a major part of the educational community. So we look forward to answering any questions if you have any, and just really are very grateful.
Okay. So we had a motion by Maria and seconded by Wilson. So all those in favor of the
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes with a 5-0. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Valley. Then we're going to move on to F2, which is approve the certificated and classified personnel actions as listed. I need a motion.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Second by Wilson. So all, I'd like a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approve the request for leaves as noted. I need a motion.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0. We're going to amend the recommendation of the hearing chairperson regarding people personnel. In closed session, the Board of Trustees took action in support of the following recommendations from the superintendent. B1, people personnel 31-19-20 through expulsion 33-19-20 and STIP 5-19-20 on a motion by Dennis Bender and seconded by Rick Raleigh, 5-0 vote. The Board of Trustees amended expulsion 31-19-20 to the following. The Board of Trustees amends the administrative hearing panel recommendation to be expelled to San Bernardino County Community Day School for the remainder of the 1920 spring semester and be placed on a suspended enforcement of expulsion to High Desert Premier Academy for the 2021 fall semester to be placed on a suspended enforcement of expulsion to High Desert Premier Academy for the remainder of the 1920 spring semester and the 2021 fall semester. And the vote was Dennis Aye. Donna Davis, aye. Maria Para, aye. Rick Raleigh, aye. And Jeff and Wilson, so aye. And then expulsion case 32. We need a motion.
So move.
Second.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? On expulsion case, expulsion number 33, 2019-20, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Who was Wilson seconded?
Second, yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 5-0. Stipulated agreement 5/19/20. I need a motion.
So move.
Wilson,
Second.
Maria, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Annual review number 32/19/20. Make a motion.
So moved.
Dennis Bender. Second.
Second.
Motion so. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes on 5-0. On the consent agenda, G, it is recommended the Board of Trustees consider approving a number of agenda items as consent list. Consent items are routine in nature and can be enacted in one motion without further discussion. This procedure conserves the meeting time for a full discussion of significant issues. Consent items to be approved in one motion, 1 through 25. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve G1 to 25.
Who has the second?
Second.
Donna Davis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I do.
Okay,
I just needed to get some clarification for item number 4.
so do we want to, are you asking to pull item number 4?
We can pull that, Maria, we can pull the item.
Pull item 4.
Okay, so we're gonna, can I have a motion to approve consent items 1, 2, 3, and then 5 through 25?
Yes.
We can. Same motion. I can amend my motion to approve item G1 to 25 except 4.
Okay, and Donna, do you still second that?
Yes.
Okay, can I have a vote? All those in favor of approving 1 through 25 with the exception of number 4?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, let's have a discussion number 4. Maria, what was the question about the receipt of
The
gifts?
question I had about number 4 is that it is a gift of a used vehicle, except that the used vehicle price is almost like the cost of a new vehicle. So I wasn't sure how that works out.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Pat talk about that.
What department was getting it?
Yeah, thank you for asking. That's a good question, and probably would have been good to have a little more background on that item. So the background is this. This is actually, although used, it's a barely used diesel truck that's an excellent vehicle for our automotive career and technical education program at Apple Valley High School. And so the vehicle was returned by the original owner and had something wrong with it, so it couldn't be resold, but it was still an excellent demonstration vehicle for purposes of students to learn how to work on these particular vehicles. And in fact, what Griner has done in doing this has allowed us to have a kind of a state-of-the-art vehicle for students to work on that will complement the rest of that CTE program. So although the cost does show, or the value shows at $20,000, the original sale price of that vehicle was of course much higher. Interestingly, also for us, we incurred no long-term difficulty at the point when this car becomes no longer useful. They have indicated that they will help us with taking that vehicle back, because sometimes that becomes a problem for us, especially if they're non-operational. So we see this as a net benefit.
Okay.
Any other questions regarding number 4? Can I have a motion to approve number 4?
I move we approve it.
I'll second it.
So, all those in favor of approving number 4?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it passes with 5-0. Then under staff reports, are there any questions of the staff reports?
No.
Then we're going to move on to section I, comments. Kylie, are there any public comments that have come in sent through via our email?
We have not received any additional comments.
Thank you. Under superintendent comments, I just would like to thank you for your patience with this process and us learning this. And I would like to ask for permission. We will be bringing forward an item for obsolete. We have identified that we had some N95 masks over in the warehouse that have been there probably far before the Blue Cat fire. They expired quite some time ago. And even though they've expired, they may be useful if there is a dire emergency to meet for the need of N95s. I'd like to obsolete them so that if that need arises, we can transfer them to any first responders that might be interested in utilizing even the expired items. In talking with the hospital today, you know, everybody is fitted for those. They don't just put one size on, they find the best one for them, but we'd like to be able to do that if necessary.
Thank you so much.
I think it's a great idea. Thank you.
Okay, so thumbs up that if we put them on the obsolete items later, we are allowed to do that transfer. Thank you.
Yes, good. Pretty good
That's all I
use.
have. We're to board comments, Mr. So,
I have no further comments.
Mr. Bender,
None.
Mr. Raleigh,
No, nothing.
Ms. Okara,
Nothing at this time.
Ms. Davis.
I think under the circumstances, we had a mighty fine meeting. Thank you, staff and board members. We did great.
Thank you, Don.
We have no reason to go back into closed session.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll
Does
second that.
anybody have any future items? Lost total control. Never have had it. You guys will be receiving some information from Kylie regarding the signing of documents through DocuSign. We will follow up with you, so be watching for that. And our next regularly scheduled board meeting is Thursday, May 7th at 5:30 p.m. And though the location is listed as a multi-purpose room, it will not be. It will be a remote meeting, and we will improve our practice next time.
Oh, you did a
Thanks all the
great
board
job.
for having patience with me using the computer.
So Mr. So made a motion to adjourn. He seconded
Yes.
it.
I did.
So
Thank you, Mr. Bender. And I need a motion to adjourn. I need a vote to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you for all the good work, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
thank you. I have had a good day.
And Maria, you in Hawaii? Enjoy it.
By way of Apple Valley.
You're a president.
I know that's a funny image. I know. Are you really on the beach?
I'm sitting in my dining room, but the window was so bright.
Yes.